Hello, and welcome to Monarch Housing Associates' Introduction to NJ Counts 2014, New Jersey's point-in-time count of the homeless. This session will provide an overview of the reasons and methods for conducting a point-in-time count and a summary of the process for NJ Counts 2014. If you want more information or materials about conducting the count, please see Monarch's website for other helpful video topics and all the forms and guides needed for this year's count. A point-in-time count is a census of all homeless persons in a given area on a single night. In New Jersey, each county conducts its own count. In order for the point-in-time count to provide the most useful information, the count should be statistically reliable, unduplicated, inclusive of all sheltered and unsheltered homeless households, conducted during the last week of January to comply with federal requirements established by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development for the count, and be planned, coordinated, and carried out locally. Each county has 2 point-in-time coordinators who lead local PIT planning efforts. If you have questions about your county's local point-in-time plan, please contact one of your local PIT coordinators. NJ Counts is conducted each year to gather information about who the homeless are, where they find shelter, what factors contribute to their homelessness, and what services are needed by the homeless. This information helps communities plan to provide more targeted supportive services and housing services to better meet the needs of homeless households. The point-in-time count is also required in order for communities to receive federal funding for preventing and ending homelessness from HUD. Because HUD provides so much of the funding that supports local efforts to prevent and end homelessness, it is HUD's definition of homeless that is used for the point-in-time count. According to HUD's definition, a person should be counted as homeless if that person sleeps somewhere not designed as a regular sleeping accommodation for human beings, such as a car, park, abandoned building, bus or train, street or sidewalk, or if that person lacks a fixed, regular, and adequate nighttime residence, has a supervised emergency shelter, safe haven, or transitional housing dedicated solely for the homeless as their primary nighttime residence. This includes domestic violence and youth shelters. A person who meets the definition of homeless under Part 1 of this definition is considered unsheltered, while a person who meets the definition of homeless under Part 2 of the definition is considered to be sheltered. The 2014 Point-in-Time survey will continue to collect information on those who meet these HUD definitions in order to meet HUD's requirements. However, the PIT survey will also collect information on those who may not reflect HUD's definition of homeless, but may be at risk of homelessness or precariously housed. In addition to households that meet the HUD definition of unsheltered or sheltered homeless persons, a person may also be surveyed and counted as at risk of homelessness if that person is currently doubled up with another household, living in illegal units, living in overcrowded units, scheduled to be evicted with no subsequent residence, being discharged from jail or prison with no subsequent residence, being discharged from a health facility with no subsequent residence, or residing in a motel unit being paid for by that household. For NJ Counts 2014, it is important to remember that distinct data collection methods will be utilized for each type of homeless household under the HUD definition of homeless. This year, all unsheltered homeless households will be counted using the NJ Counts 2014 paper survey. However, the sheltered count will be conducted primarily by using New Jersey's Homeless Management Information System, or HMIS. So, sheltered households whose information is in HMIS should not be surveyed, but instead, agencies should update their HMIS information to accurately reflect the night of the count. Sheltered homeless households who are not in New Jersey's HMIS system will still need to be counted using the NJ Counts 2014 paper survey so that a complete picture of all sheltered homeless households can be obtained. Also, new this year, All agencies with programs that provide housing for the homeless will submit a sheltered summary survey form that provides a brief overview of the number of homeless people served and the number of beds available in their programs for the night of the count. This form has been distributed to all local point-in-time coordinators and will serve as a way to check that the number of sheltered homeless persons counted through submitting surveys and updating HMIS matches the number that agencies actually sheltered. Finally, households who are not considered homeless but are considered at risk of homelessness under HUD's definition should also be counted by using the NJ Counts 2014 paper survey. If you are assisting an agency for NJ Counts 2014 and you're unsure whether information about the sheltered homeless households you will come into contact with is currently entered in HMIS, ask agency staff or a local point-in-time coordinator for guidance. If a household or individual's information is already in HMIS, remember you should not conduct a paper survey with them because they will be counted using HMIS data. This is the new Sheltered Summary Survey form for NJ Counts 2014. One Sheltered Summary Survey form will be required from each agency on the date of the count. As you can see, it only asks for information regarding the county, agency, and program names, the name of the program in HMIS, whether the program is classified as an individual or family program, and the total numbers of beds available and people served on the night of the count. As you can see, this format also allows agencies to put information about multiple programs on the same form. This simple new tool, due on the day of the count by 5 p.m., will help verify that all count information submitted for sheltered households is in accordance with agency records. NJ Counts will be conducted on the night of Tuesday, January 28th to Wednesday, January 29th, 2014, between the hours of 10 p.m. on the 28th and 10 p.m. on the 29th. All paper surveys must be completed within this time frame, asking about where the respondents spent the overnight period from sundown on January 28th until sunrise of January 29th. If your community conducts an overnight count, it must only be done on the night of the 28th beginning after 10 p.m. When conducting a survey during an overnight count, make sure that you are asking respondents about where they spent that night, the night of January 28th. If you are conducting surveys during the daytime, be sure that you are asking about the previous night and only conduct daytime surveys on January 29th until 10 p.m. While all data collected for the 2014 point-in-time count will be collected for the night of January 28th to January 29th, after the count is conducted, all data must be submitted to meet the NJ Counts 2014 data submission deadline. Monarch Housing Associates will then clean, analyze, and report all statewide and local data and provide local communities with their data for local planning purposes. All paper surveys for NJ Counts 2014 must be conducted no later than Wednesday, January 29th, 2014, asking about the overnight period from January 28 to January 29. Agencies must then input information from all surveys conducted into the NJ Counts 2014 online survey form in SurveyMonkey. All survey data must be submitted into the SurveyMonkey tool by 5 p.m. on Wednesday, February 5th, 2014. The online survey will open 1 week prior to the night of the count on Wednesday, January 22nd, 2014, so that agencies with large numbers of stable, sheltered participants who are not in HMIS, such as county boards of social services, can begin to input information about the night of the count early. Next, all HMIS data for the point-in-time count should be updated as soon after Wednesday, January 29th as possible, because Monarch will be pulling all HMIS data at 1 p.m. on Monday, February 3rd for verification. The HMIS data pulled at that time will be checked against information reported on the summary survey form and the number of paper surveys submitted by agency. By Wednesday, February 5th at 5 p.m., all HMIS data must be verified, and data pulled by Monarch Housing Associates at this time will be considered final. The new sheltered summary survey form must be completed and submitted via email to the local PIT coordinators by all agencies that provide housing for homeless households on the day of the count, Wednesday, January 29, 2014, by 5:00 p.m. These data submission deadlines are firm, final, and there will be no exceptions. Any data submitted after these deadlines will not be included in the final data used for NJ Counts 2014. These strict deadlines will help communities get more timely data than in past counts. If you need further guidance about collecting and submitting data, please refer to the NJ Counts 2014 Data Collection Guide that has been distributed to each county and continuum of care in New Jersey. This guide provides comprehensive assistance regarding the point-in-time count process, guidance about survey questions, and step-by-step online data entry help. If you have not received the guide from your PIT coordinator, you may access it through Monarch Housing Associates' website. Thank you for participating in NJ Counts 2014. If you have any further questions about this year's point-in-time process, please consult the 2014 Data Collection Guide, other video and print training materials available at monarchhousing.org, or contact your local point-in-time coordinator. If you have a problem with these materials or with the survey, email Monarch Housing Associates at njcounts@monarchhousing.org or call 908-272-5363, extension 228. We look forward to working with you to make the 2014 point-in-time count a success for our communities. Thank you.